Hi, it's Joshua Taylor here. I'm just going to adjust the camera a bit. I got something. Just might blow the socks off you. I remember that guy that prophesied by Donald Trump, the guy with the long hair. He mentioned something about a discovery of an energy source that would revolutionize everything. And I believe I have that. For years, the Lord's blessed me with an imagination, with invention that can take different technologies, put them together to make a third technology. And the Lord shows me how to do it, right? So it's not really hard for me because I just follow what He shows me. And so when you're designing and inventing, the Lord is right there with you. That's how it is with me. And so He just guides you through. He's your inspiration. I guess Nikola Tesla, he walked in that way. He was a free thinker, and he got his information from somewhere. And all things good, all discoveries that God gives are meant for the good. But unfortunately, a lot of divine discoveries over the years have been used for weapons of war, like the atomic bomb, right? It was initially designed to be good, to be a blessing to people, but they end up using it to kill people. So the Lord's given me a technology. The last 20 years, I've been kind of sitting on it. And it has to do, well, I just say this, whoever has this technology, like a working prototype, it's something that anybody can make. You just have to know the steps how to take it. But it will allow you to live anywhere on the planet. It doesn't matter. It give you the means to be able to produce your own alternative fuel source. I'm talking about a multi-fuel source. Your propanes, your gasoline, your diesel. All this would be very easy to do. And it's called pyrolysis, right? Or gasification. But it's the way that you do it. So using the technology that the Lord gave me in 2004, the Joe pipe technology, just by using propane alone, I get about 300% efficiency of the energy. And this has already been proven out by Don Stein, who shared the technology with 7 or 8 years ago. And he ran with it. He saw that there was potential in it, and he patented what the Lord gave me in a dream. He took the claim for it. But he got the inspiration from me, right? So actually, he might be in trouble because he's using it for his own gain. You don't take something that God gave to someone and use it for your own gain. There will be a price to pay. But anyway, using this, what I call the Joe pipe technology, I use that as a primary heat source to heat up a large, those things that you cook peas and beans in, right? Pressure cooker, right? Be like a modified pressure cooker. And you would have that in another container, heat from the bottom, and that heat would go all the way around 90% of the cover of the container itself. So you'd be extracting the maximum amount of heat. And say you had this container, large 45-gallon container. If you had it filled with bits of wood, different organic stuff, tires, plastic, it doesn't matter. You could, let's say just for instance, this is just filled with wood right now. And what we want to do is turn the wood into charcoal. And for that, And when that happens, the wood gives off, the organic material gives off the biogas. But you need a heat source that has to be more efficient than present systems. And this is what the Lord gave me. It's working now. So you got this heat source that you're using to heat up this kettle, right? It's insulated in. And you can set the pressure a little bit so it speeds up the process, right? All the biomass is breaking down and producing a biogas. And so the biogas comes out, but at the same time, the heat that's used to heat the pot, which is superheated CO2, spent CO2, but it's still going to be 1500 degrees because it comes out at 2150, 2200 degrees. And just a mass amount of heat, very hot. Oh, my foot was against the alarm. And anyway, so you got a cheap heat source able to gasify or pyrolyze all the stuff that's in the tank. And the heat, the exhaust heat that's used to heat the process is combined with the output of the biomass, right? So you're going to have a convergence of different lengths, different hydrocarbon chains, right? It's going to be a mixed bag. Then the Lord showed me to design it's called a plasma, almost like a plasma rectifier or diode, but you're talking about transforming something using plasma. So you got all this fuel coming in, and you pass it through this highly charged plasma field. So it comes out, it's all going to be chopped up and refined. And you might have to add a little bit of steam at this time, but you want to pass it through what's called a venturi or a Bernoulli tube. So you take your gasification, which is hot, you pass it through a Bernoulli tube, and right in the center of that tube, right where it chokes down, you put your plasma inverter, rectifier, or whatever you want to call it. So you got these huge molecules of fuel coming in, maybe, I don't know, 5 to 10 microns. And as it goes through the plasma field, it's broken down into nano-sized particles. So you get a very refined fuel. And at that point, this is where you would, on the Bernoulli tube, you would draw in steam. You're adding the carbons being superheated, and at that point you add steam, and you're going to get a chemical binding, right? So you're going to have a very balanced fuel. And from there, right, because you've got a cheap heat source, you can do this. You can convert plastic, car tires, wood waste, septic waste, it doesn't matter. It all can be broken down into a biogas that can then be taken and passed through a plasma field to be broken down into nano-sized particles. So this is all working technology that's out there now. But wouldn't it be a blessing to be able to make like a tabletop model that I could put right on top of this table, where you put garbage in and you get what's called a GEET gas. You would have to put it through a GEET reactor. So you're taking your stock fuel, refining it, processing it to a stabilized stock fuel, and then you're taking that and you're converting that into GEET gas. Now, once you're at that point, you're extending a gallon of diesel would be extended tenfold, or use motor oil tenfold. And this would be what you would be doing. You'd be getting 10 times the BTU out of the fuel. because it's broken down into a sub-micron level. So when you go from micron level, like diesels run very highly efficient diesels, they probably, I don't think they can, they might break it down to maybe 5 microns. I don't know if they actually gone into the nano state. And by using plasma, you can do this. So you have a refined stock fuel that's stable, so you could actually design a GEET fuel processor that would convert this. And of course you would need your vacuum draw. But for every, say, gallon of fuel that you make, right? Say for every 10 gallons of fuel that you make, because the carbon, the hydrocarbon, that all the carbon is converted, is broken down, right? So you have a fuel, this GEET gas, when it burns, it produces no emissions, just water and oxygen. So anything that has a hydrocarbon content, it basically can make fuel, and you can do this anywhere. This is the a proposal that I'd like to make to the remnant, and I'm not going to sit down and do all the work, but I need to work with the professionals that are out there, those that are into pyrolysis, gasification, particle physics, plasma dynamics, Fischer-Troupe process. You know, you could actually, instead of making GEET gas, you could take your biogas and turn it, put it through the Fischer-Troupe process to make diesel fuel, and gasoline and other byproducts. So you could actually make a fuel that you could store, or you can convert it into a full vapor state that compresses like propane. And once you know, GEET gas, same as Joe cell gas, is a implosion fuel. When you burn it, it causes an implosion process, not an explosion. It creates an implosion. It creates a vacuum. And so once you have that, if I was to take that fuel and use it in my present operations, the Joe pipe technology that the Lord gave me in 2004, if I was to use that, I would get probably a separation. The hydrogen would be converted into monoatomic hydrogen and remerged together, and it'd probably give me at least 8,700 degrees right there. And if it actually shifts, goes any further, because you're talking about a spinnier, a vortexing energy circuit, right, where the fuel is converted into a plasma, but it's spinning. And so if I was to use an implosion fuel instead of propane or water gas or whatever, I would get more of a detonation effect. I would get the flame velocity would be hundreds of times faster, almost at the speed of light. And when you get to that place, that's actually where you produce plasma, because electricity travels at the speed of light. So what I'm offering is to work with the remnant, to work with the other professionals out there, to design a system that's a waste to gasification to GEET gas system that anybody can make, and those that have it would have the benefit of an endless fuel supply, which equates to heat and power, and to get these off-grid communities up and going. If you have this device, then you can unhook from the system. You're not dependent on the system, because you have a means to be able to take any kind of waste and convert it and break it down into a fuel that's where there is no carbon emissions. All the carbon's been transmuted. And it gives you the best source ever. Okay, going to end it here.